Hey, what it do? Good morning, y'all. It's your boy E2 Blue coming back at you again. It's Saturday morning, getting ready for game day tomorrow. Tomorrow, Sunday, Dallas Cowboys play the Cleveland Browns at 1 o'clock Eastern, 12 o'clock Central. Depending on where you guys are. If you're in California, that's even 3 hours earlier than that. But like I said, I've never been to the West Coast, so one day. COVID messed everything up. But this game we talked about a little bit this week. You guys heard me talk about on Mark's channel as well about this game, this up and coming game with the Browns. Now I told you guys before, this ain't your granddaddy's Browns. This ain't the Browns from 14, 12. The Johnny Manziel team and things of that nature, where they were trying to find quarterback after quarterback after quarterback. I think they found their guy in Baker Mayfield. Now, they had issues with coaching for the last couple of years. They had Freddie Kitchens last year, and that didn't work out for them. They have a really good roster. Now, you look at their roster on paper. If you match it with the Cowboys pound for pound, they can go toe-to-toe with the Cowboys when you look at it from that aspect. But there's other reasons why I think that the Cowboys definitely have the edge on this one. Now, like I said, they do have a stout defensive front. I guess you can say that their defensive line, I wouldn't say it's necessarily better than ours, but they've definitely been playing better than ours throughout this season so far. Now, you look at the trenches. Now, again, the battle in the trenches is important. You look at our offensive line, their offensive line, our defensive line, their defensive line. Now, I think that their offensive line is playing a little bit better than our offensive line right now because, again, with Tyron Smith being out and he's supposedly coming back this week, we'll see what happens with that. Lyle Collins was put on IR. Now, we don't even know, now that he might have to get hip surgery, he might not play at all this season. So, if that happens, then they're going to have to put Terrence Steele out there. They might have to make some changes. But I really love what they did in the last game with Seattle when things started breaking down and they shifted the line. They moved Joe Looney to the right guard spot. Then they moved Zach Martin to right tackle, even though he don't like playing tackle. But that's what you do when you get paid the big bucks. You got to be versatile and you got to be able to move. They put Tyler Badish, as we like to call badass, we put him in the middle at center. And then, of course, the left side with the Connor Williams and Brandon Knight. Now, Brandon Knight, Zeke likes to call him the War Daddy. He reminds me of like one of those bar fight brawler type guys. Now, you can say that for most quarterbacks, especially if they're right-handed, that left side of the line is the most important. That's why like left tackles make the most money because that's pretty much the blind side. Hold on, this. That left side is the blind side. So, you need a stronger tackle on your left side always. The right side, the quarterback sees that side more often, so it's not like he's not looking in that direction. So, you can have a little bit weaker guy, but still, you want your offensive line to be stout. Now, for years, we've had great offensive line play. Now you see that, things are starting to falter a little bit, but there's no excuse for that because there's other teams that have way worse offensive lines that still win games. And you got to be able to come out here in this league and freaking win games. That's what it's all about. You can't have a stake on every plate. You cannot. And that's one thing that I tell people all the time. You got to be able to be versatile, and your younger guys got to step up. I love what they're doing right now with these players. They're actually playing backups because, again, the more and more they get game experience, it helps the team in general. Because if something happens to your starters, you got a capable backup that can go in there and get something done. And that's a good thing. That's always a good thing. You look at the Browns' defensive line. They got Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett is an animal. We know that. I think I put him in one of the best pass rushers in the league outside of Aaron Donald. They got Adrian Claiborne, but I don't think, you remember Claiborne? played when he was with the Falcons, when he got 6 sacks on us. Now, I don't think that he's all that good. It's just that we had Chaz Green playing that game. But we're not going to go back to that. We're not going to go back to those woes. But I don't think Adrian Claiborne is playing. They have Olivier Vernon. I didn't even realize Olivier Vernon played on their team. I know he was dealing with an issue. He's questionable for the game. They also have our Joe Jackson that we didn't sign to the 53-man roster. They picked him up, and he actually made a couple of plays for the Browns, so he's all right. It's funny how like we lose players and they go to other teams and they actually do some stuff. That's crazy, ain't it? But this happens all the time. Now, I think that you look at their defensive coordinator. Their secondary is not great at all. They got Greedy Williams back there. They got Denzel Ward back there, and they're banged up. They got a couple of guys that are not playing. Now you look at what I think with the Dallas Cowboys, the key to getting past that aggressive front, because again they can get to the quarterback without blitzing. That's how good their defensive front is. And their defensive coordinator knows that, and he's very confident in his defensive front. You can tell by looking at how they structure their defense that, hey, if you get past my defensive front, then whatever. But, he's so confident about his front seven, I don't think he really cared about the secondary like that. He like, well, those guys, as long as they can, go back there and cover a little bit. But with the Dallas Cowboys, with the firepower that we have on offense with our great wide receivers, if Dak Prescott gets that ball off, it's going to be over for them, and that's how you get to them. Now, I think what the Cowboys need to do this game, if they win the coin toss, go ahead and take the ball on offense, get the ball, establish the run, because again, they're going to try to stop Ezekiel Elliott. That's their biggest thing. They're going to try to stop Zeke. So what you do, you need to go out there, get Zeke the ball, get him involved early, stop the mental mistakes, stop the fumbling. Get both him and Tony Pollard out there, shift both those guys out. Maybe you start trying to do some I formation and things of that nature. Do what they did. What we're going to have to do, what I think we need to do what the Rams did to us the first game of the week to the Browns. We need to do them like that. We need to come out there, quick strike, quick slants, throw some screens out there, do some things that is going to fluster and frustrate the defensive front for this Browns team. Because again, if you get these guys upset, you get these guys off step and do some misdirection, and they don't know what's going on, you got them. Because then you could just put the nail in the coffin. You get up by a couple of scores, and then they don't have no choice but to scrap what they were trying to do with their game plan. They won't be able to do anything with that. Now that's the biggest key that I can say is combating their defensive line. You combat their defensive line, you're gonna win. Because again, Dak Prescott, he'll throw that ball deep, and because again, it's gonna open up. Everybody talk about dink and dunk, but when you do that, it opens up for a big play. Ain't nothing wrong with dinking and dunking. Dinking and dunking is what every quarterback in the league has done. That ain't a bad thing, because again, that's how the Rams beat us. So I don't necessarily want Dak Prescott throwing for 400-something yards a game, because it really looks bad. It looks like we're a team playing from behind all the time. So we got to get in this game heavy. We got to get in this game strong. We can't be playing from behind, because you can't do that with every team and expect to come back and win. But again, you get that lead on the Browns, you're going to be all right. They're not going to be able to get you pound for pound. Now, Baker Mayfield, I think he's a good quarterback. But right now, the way that their coaching staff utilizes him, almost like a game manager. Like, he's a guy that, like, okay, well, just don't go out there and mess up. Go out there, get the ball to your playmakers and do what you need to do. Don't do anything excessive. I noticed what they do with Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham. They put them on a lot of sluggo routes. They put them on curl routes. They don't do a lot of 9 routes. Now, they'll do one every once in a while. I've seen it in the Cincinnati game. But again, that's their rival. That's their in-state rival. So they're going to do some different things with the Bengals. Now, you look at their wins. They're 2-1. They got one more win than we do. But again, they played the Washington team and they played Cincinnati, and they got their ass busted by the Ravens. So you look at that situation, it's like, okay, well, they played 2 subpar teams. So they like to say that about the Cowboys. Oh, well, they need to be winning teams. Well, it starts now. So technically the Browns are a winning team because they have a winning record. So there you go. So the winning streak starts here. The Cowboys win this game. They'll go 2-2 on this slate of 3 straight home games. You got to win these games. You got to get them in because it's going to matter at the end of the year. Now, I think that CeeDee Lamb is going to get his first touchdown this game. Might even be 2. He might get 2. He might have a Cedric Wilson type of game. Because you're looking at what they got on in their secondary, these wide receivers are going to eat. Dak Prescott get that ball down to them, it's going to be hell for the Browns secondary. So I'm telling you, if this offensive line of the Dallas Cowboys can keep Dak upright, Browns secondary ain't gonna be able to do nothing with him. And that's pretty much it. I mean, that is the biggest key. Now you're looking at matchups, right? So we're talking about Nick Chubb. To me, that's the biggest threat. Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. I know Kareem Hunt had a groin injury. He's questionable for the game, but if he does play, though, they're going to use him on that outside. They're going to throw some screens at him. They're going to do play action with Kareem Hunt. They're going to use him similarly to how Kansas City used him before he left Kansas City. So look to, oh my God, I hate this little holder. I got to get another holder. Look to see Kareem Hunt do some things out there. If he plays, and Nick Chubb, they're going to try to run the ball. What they're going to try to do is their strategy is to keep Dak Prescott off the field. So what they're going to do is they're going to try to run the ball with Nick Chubb, eat up the clock, eat up 6 minutes out the quarter and stuff like that. But again, this defense has to get stops. I think that because of the big game that Aldon Smith had last week, they're looking at that tape and they're like, oh, we got to stop Aldon. Forget DeMarcus Lawrence. We got to stop Aldon. Because DeMarcus Lawrence was the one that was getting double and triple teamed all the time. They're gonna double up on Aldon. So I think that it's time for Everson Griffin to eat. And I think this is going to be Everson Griffin's breakout game right here for the Cowboys. So I look to see him do something. I don't know if D-Law is going to play with his knee. Again, he's questionable. But they said Tyron Smith should be out there too. So that should definitely help this team. And I'm looking forward to that. Now, that's what I think. I think that CeeDee Lamb and Everson Griffin are going to have good games this week. So with that being said, y'all, that's all I got for right now. Predictions for the game, I guess, score positions, I guess I'll say, I said it last night on Mark's channel when I was over there. I'm going to say Cowboys win 31-17. I don't think the Browns could handle our wide receivers in that aspect. So with that being said, definitely do respect the Browns. It's going to be it's not an easy game. They're going to provide a lot of push on that defensive line. So we got to keep Dak upright. That's the biggest thing. With that being said, y'all, it's your boy E2 Blue, always keeping it real. And hopefully we can win this game tomorrow so we can go 2-2. Peace.